Hey, 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 it's almost Catterday. I got nothing planned tonight, just a fun stream. Waiting on the guys to join us, but I got Luna here with me, and we were just kind of catching up behind the scenes. And Luna was showing me what she's got up and coming on her channel, and you guys are gonna love it. So, with that said, there's Luna. Sister, unmute yourself.
G'day, g'day, g'day. How you going, Yama? G'day. Oh, here we are. You know, Jules, and when you showed me and invited me today, you said it's about 1984. The first thing I thought about was that movie,
Never seen it.
1984. You got to watch it.
And when I was in school, 1984 was not required reading. It's like, when did they switch that gear? When did they start to know that we better stop teaching them that?
Ah, yeah, there's a lot that they stopped teaching. So, yeah, we're waiting for the guys, and we're going
Hey, Connie. Hey, Joe.
trip back into time. You always take me back into time, and then you start making me remember, Jules.
I can jog your memory.
Yeah, you do. Hang on.
I didn't bring any trinkets or relics to share with you guys tonight. And I thought about it. If I have to get up and do a coffee run, I'll grab something out of the toy curio. But I have back in the 80s, gum was popular. I have it's about this big. It's a candy dispenser of Gizmo the Gremlin. And it actually still works. It only had bubble gum in it once, like probably when it was brand new.
Ha! Yeah, I was thinking. We've been doing a lot of cleaning here. Been finding old stuff, and I'm like, man, should have kept all this from all them years. But you can't keep everything. You know what I mean? You just can't keep everything.
True, I need to do a good purging myself. And I was just sitting here thinking, I got some cleaning I got to do tomorrow. Tomorrow is tank day. Roswell gets his water changed, and I need to get a nitrile snail or something that's like a snail that I can put in with a betta fish, because his water is just the water is crystal clean. It's just the green stuff growing inside the tank is very unsettling.
Good,
Welcome, Polly.
Hello.
How are we?
We is good.
Cool, groovy.
So, yeah, we've just been yarning and.
No, I mean, Luna was telling me that I trigger her memory, her member berries.
She does. I forgot it all happened when I talked to Jules again. I remember that.
I don't know where I heard that phrase from, but it's catchy.
Picking some member berries off the ancient wisdom tree of knowledge.
Yeah.
Don't eat the rotten ones.
That's good advice.
I'll give you belly.
No, Luna mentioned something, and the only thing that I have said pertaining to 1984 was Luna asked me if I ever seen the movie, which I have not. And 1984 wasn't required reading when I was in school. It's like in the early 80s they pulled that stuff. It's like, whoop, they don't need to be learning about this.
Oh, is that your card, Polly?
That's the card.
I like
that's it.
That's the card.
Maybe I should turn it the other way around, because that's where the QR code is.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
You got one of them square things. You know, when they first come out,
laminate that.
People didn't even recognise them. Didn't even notice that they were coming out. I noticed them straight away. I went, "What's this little thing here?" And it was only tiny when it first came out, right? And I knew it was something not good for us all, really. And then when it came out, it grew and got like 3 times bigger, and then you saw it everywhere.
And now you can even pay for them.
Oh.
You can create your own QR codes very easily, too.
I won't do that. You know what QR stands for?
Probably something nefarious.
Quantity?
Question, right?
Quality? Question?
I always thought it Stood for quite right.
No, that's not a Q. Sorry.
It's a quite right code.
I don't know. QR.
Hey, and speaking of 1984, Quiet Riot had a hit in 1984.
Gee, I've got to
That's
go
right.
back. Hang on. Let's start the time machine up.
Make sure the
time machine.
Get the filament for the flux capacitor.
Hey, is 1984 when Back to the Future came out?
I want to say it was 85.
Let's go with
1984,
85.
the book.
Save that for the next show.
1984.
Yeah,
Do you know anything about that book,
It's gonna be
Jules?
epic. Say what?
Do you know anything about the 1984 book, George Orwell?
I know that he wrote it,
Oh,
but I
maybe
know
it's-
that from what I'm speculating, from not reading it, a lot of that stuff in the book is unfolding now.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe it's best you don't because it will. You'll
It'll
realise that's where we're
only be depressive.
Yeah, it's depressing. Man, when I saw the movie, I thought, what's wrong with them people? Why aren't they fighting back? Man, how could you live like that? Like, but
Ignorance is bliss.
So they say.
okay.
You know what? Ignorance makes a mean breakfast too.
Ha! So 1984, the year of Band-Aid, the UK miners' strike, and numerous scientific
I know
discoveries.
why Band-Aid. I'm confusing that with Live Aid.
Oh, yeah.
They were both good though.
Yeah.
Wasn't
They're all right until you rip them off and they pull your hair out.
wasn't Live Aid in 1985? Hey Leslie, hey homegirl.
I watched it. I don't remember what year it was in.
I feel deprived. I didn't watch Band-Aid. I didn't watch Live Aid. I didn't watch Farm Aid.
I heard you watch
I
Lemonade.
was 1984. I was 11. I was told to get out of the house during the summertime, but come home when the street lights came on. I mean, it was outside, drinking from the hose, running around, having a childhood.
Wow, I pulled up something, tells you a lot, even tells you the yearly inflation rate for your country in 1984 was 4.3%. That's something I normally wouldn't come out with. Let's do it. You see the professional me. The average monthly rent was $350.
Wow.
Interest rates year end, Federal Reserve, 10.75%.
Hey, wasn't that when the great market collapsed?
I don't know. A Dodge Ram 50 truck cost.
Because there was a huge recession in the 80s, but I don't know the exact year.
And apples were 43 cents a pound.
Yeah, I feel like a schlub. I'm hosting this stream and I didn't look into anything. I've had such a busy week.
I'm laughing because I'm reading stuff that's totally opposite to me, like numbers and stuff. Hey,
no, I mean, I appreciate the help.
The average income per year in 1984 in the USA, I can't read, it was 21,600, oh no, I don't know, 21,000? I don't know what that number is. No, it's a past.
Translated, not enough.
Numbers aren't my thing. My maths teacher went to the pub at lunchtime, so I never learned anything. Men's leather shoes were $39.99. The things they tell you.
I don't have shoes.
And they looked like shit.
What year did
men's shoes in the 80s looked like crap?
I was just getting ready to agree with you on that, but wondering what year like Air Jordans came out. Was that later 80s or was that early 90s?
I don't know, but
I don't know. All I'm thinking about is those shoes where they're like the canvas, but the holes in them, the loafers, whatever they were. I think Vans made them for a bit, and they were just like, oh, those back in the 80s, those were the preppies, the preppers, the preppies.
Oh,
They
like
were
the
like,
Oxford loafers. I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah. And
Was
you have to wear them
that
with
was like
neon
around
sunglasses.
1984 when that term preppy came out.
Yeah. And also David Bowie has a song called 1984, I think, which I'll likely play tomorrow.
Yeah, and Van Halen had an album called 1984.
Yeah, and that album's going to get played as well. I mean, I was actually the last show that we did, 1983. I was like, oh, Van Halen's got to have some songs from 1983. Nope, not one single song from 1983.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember them releasing anything in '83. I know they did. Was it Diver Down in '82? Because
Yeah,
that had the best version of Pretty Woman on it.
yeah, I agree. That's a great version, and David Lee Roth's got a great voice for that song too. So,
Yeah.
but like '84 is when he started getting into all the hair bands. You know, dudes started to crimp their hair.
Yep.
I noticed
I don't know
something. I got
why.
this page in 1984.
Okay, let me ask you, ladies. If you saw a dude with really nice hair and it was crimped, would that make you more interested or less interested?
Depends. If they were kind of native and they had crimped hair, it'd probably be cool.
I think this is probably more of a question for Lena, because if we're talking in 1984 terms, I was 11.
Hey, I
I
just
had
noticed
no concept what crimped hair or makeup or anything was.
Didn't we do 1983 last time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I was doing martial arts. I was still doing martial arts. I remember that. What was I doing? And I didn't care about my hair because I just had it in a ponytail as long as it was off my face. I didn't care. I found something.
1984 was the year I was always out, to the point where I was even sneaking out of the bedroom window at night because I wanted to be outside.
Oh,
And,
well,
like climbing trees, swimming in the pool, walking around. I was always outside.
I found a page with everything. We've got a whole show in this page. Popular musicians, 1984. Phil Collins. Hey, you want to know something interesting about Phil Collins? My cousin, her boyfriend she had at the time was a roadie for Phil Collins, and when he come out to Australia, we got tickets for behind stage. That was cool.
Nice. So were you able to like meet Phil Collins?
I don't. No, I don't. Sorry. I don't rush up to famous people. I sit in the corner and look at them, and they look at me, and I think, well, come on, come and say hello to your fan. I'm mean. No, all right, so Phil Collins, Alison, that's true. I've met
Oh
a
my
lot.
gosh, and that was like Phil Collins was like super popular at that time. That was around what, Sussudio, around that time frame. Him, and he did
Face Value.
the duet with Philip Bailey, Easy Lover.
And I didn't say a lot.
Oh, he did duets with a bunch of people in the 80s.
I just went because I got free tickets.
Hey, $3.99 is always good.
Alison Moyet, who's that?
Oh, she sings with Yazoo, one of my favorite songs from '82, Situation.
Okay, Billy Joel.
Everybody knows Billy Joel.
Tina Turner. What's love got to do with it? Oh, you can't even sing on these things. Hey, I got another strike last week.
Oh no! What
was the saying? Yeah, cousin. Oh, it was nothing major.
Was it a copyright?
No, it was nothing major. Just no action taken.
No, I was just like hoping that nothing came of that, because you showed some spicy goods last week.
Yeah, wait till next time.
The Red Mercury.
Yeah,
you know, it was like Tuesday morning, and I was still thinking about that video. Wow. I had to play it again, and
cool,
because it connects in to something else I've been following, and it validates that, and it's just crazy how everything lately is just, the truth seems to be revealing itself. That veil is thin, and those of us can see If we don't see it, we feel it.
Well, I endeavour to bring you strange, wonderful, and amazing things, and I'm glad you like them. David Bowie, he was around for a while. Wake me up before you go, Wham.
I don't plan on going solo.
Wake me up to play your yo-yo. Billy Ocean.
That has to be one of the biggest hits of 1984, Caribbean Queen.
Oh, I was going to ask you, what song did he play?
And that particular song, there's at least 3 different versions, because there's African Queen, Caribbean Queen, and there's another one that I can't remember off the top of my head.
I could share my screen so I'm not hogging all this information, you know.
If you would like to, but I mean, it's cool. I mean, again, I feel I'm a horrible host.
So I'm a lazy YouTuber. lazy YouTuber. Horrible. What are you, Polly? Polly?
I don't know yet. I'm still figuring that out.
The Radiant Radio Man. You get a positive name. All right. I'm being silly because I'm
stay bright
tomorrow and I'm nervous. Yeah, the Radiant Radio Man, if that sticks now.
Yes, I mean, did you want to elaborate on going away, or is it hush?
I'm just telling you, I'm kind of nervous / excited. That's why I'm being a bit crazy.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah.
I mean, when I travel, it's like, yeah, I'm going somewhere. And then it's like, wait, who's going to take care of the house? Who's going to take care of the cats? What happens?
Everyone's going to be okay. I'm going to miss you guys. Like that's what I said to you. I'm going to miss you all before I even go. Like, I miss you all before we go. All right. UB40. What did they sing? UB40.
Nothing that I remember from 1984. But they did a remake of, was it Elvis? Fools Rush In.
Red Wine came out in 83.
In Love. Red Wine was probably their biggest hit that people know. Rat in My Kitchen was another one that they did.
UB40, but me be over 50.
UB40? No, UB40.
I am 50.
No, UB40.
All right, I'll be 40 again.
I've already been 40.
Hang on.
UB40. I'm done being 40.
No Evening Rain. No.
But you know what's interesting about UB40 is they came out around the same time as Vanilla Ice, and there was that other guy, Snow, and these are all bands who are predominantly white, but trying to do a different color music. Let's say.
Yeah, it wasn't even Snow Canadian.
But he had a Jamaican accent. Maybe he grew up in Scarborough. I don't know.
I don't know.
For any of you Canucks out there watching this, you know what I'm talking about. Scarborough, right? Scarlum. Whatever. They're all nice people in Scarborough. Even still.
Yeah, I mean, movies, 1984.
Oh,
Is that when the John Hughes movies started to emerge? Because there was a nice string of them. There was Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah, and all those movies have similarities in the way that they sort of marketed the soundtracks with the movies. Like Breakfast Club soundtrack, that's an iconic soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still find that soundtrack on,
yeah, and I mean, well, that whole the end pose at the movie, that's iconic when he's like finally gets the girl and he's walking off and he's like, yeah.
And it's a great Simple Minds song.
I got
Agreed.
TV, but I haven't got movies here. Popular
Like
TV.
that Simple Minds song, everybody thinks about Breakfast Club when they hear that song. At least anybody who's seen the movie.
Yep, that's one of the songs from the 80s that if there was an indefinite for sure sounds like the 80s, feels like the 80s from the 80s, that is one song that's on that playlist. Another song that's on that playlist is Take on Me from Aha.
Yeah.
Every time you hear it, you automatically go back to that retroscope video that was so cutting edge for its time.
And there's a song out. It's fairly recent. It might be a couple years old by now, but I believe it's by The Weeknd. And it sounds exactly like that song. Like it's almost identical to
We lost Polly.
sounds.
No, you didn't. My bad. My apologies. I didn't have I went to type in chat and I didn't have my cursor on the right place, and I accidentally got rid of Polly. But I'm sorry.
You can't get rid of me. I've already pollinated everywhere. You're gonna need some serious weed killer to get rid of me.
You're a mental now. You grew up in the age of pesticides, you'll be fine.
So you're saying Roundup by Monsanto doesn't work on you?
I'm thinking I'm immune to Roundup. It's all my exposure to Kellogg's cereal. I've built up an immunity to it.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
know, like
all those movies in '84 had tie-ins with cereal. Gremlins had a cereal. E.T.
You used to get toys
had a
cereal.
cereal. Mr. T had a cereal.
You used to get, it didn't matter, even like Fruity Pebbles, the movie at the time, you would get a toy in the box of cereal, no matter what cereal it was. It would be based on that movie or that whatever cartoon that was famous at the time. It would be the toy in the little plastic bag with the poisonous red food coloring in it.
but the toy was bloody.
And you know what? We didn't have to tell our kids though back then. You didn't have to tell, at least me. My parents didn't have to tell me, hey, if you find a plastic thingy that's wrapped in plastic and it looks like a toy, don't fucking eat it.
So true. We weren't that silly, were we?
But now you have to put don't eat this on everything that's not edible.
You know, we even had toys that you needed a high school degree to bloody play with, right? But we had toys like that. I remember having little scientific toys and how to grow things with chemicals and stuff like that. Like, you wouldn't have them today.
We haven't.
It's too dangerous.
We haven't started talking about toys from the early '80s or the '80s in general.
But you know what I found?
One thing that I remember most about all those toys from our childhoods is most of them weren't battery operated. They were simple toys that had an internal battery. I mean, there was no no electronic this, electronic that. It's all once it all went digital. Batteries I went through more batteries on my Walkman than I did with any toys.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. I mean, there were some toys I remember that did require batteries because I remember, I think in the 80s where the term batteries not included was coined somewhere around there. Maybe not exactly 1984, but like a lot of the toys you would buy would have to have labeled on the box if they required batteries that the batteries were not included.
Like the poor CNC that used to have the pull string on it. When that string broke, you were just out of a toy, and now it's got a lever that you just beep.
Yeah, well, see, that's evolution.
True.
But I remember having a Masters of the Universe toy that required batteries.
I never had Teddy Ruxpin was always one toy that I wanted, Leslie, and I never had a Teddy Ruxpin.
Well, I'll tell you this: the reason why they put that on the box is batteries not included. And that's also a good movie. I don't know when that movie's from, but
that is a good movie. That one there.
If you've ever received a toy at Christmas as a kid and it needs batteries, and your parents didn't know it needed batteries, and so you don't have any batteries and can't play with it, it's kind of a slap in the face. It's a big Santa slap in the face. Here's a toy, but you can't play with it until you get batteries.
Just gotta wait a couple of days for the shops to open back up.
Yep, exactly. Everything's closed for 3 days. Too bad. So sad. Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
I love them days when everything was shut. No one panicked. Everyone knew that it was going to shut, and if you didn't have what you needed from the shop, you'd probably make it at home anyway. Everyone was all cool. The shops had shut, and for a couple of days there was peace everywhere. Everyone was at home doing their thing. I miss them.
Cooking
doesn't happen in-
food.
Because here in Australia, we used to have on religious days everything was shut, but because we've got people from overseas now from different religions, they actually open on our days that are shut. And they make a killing, mind you, but good on them. But yeah, it's not like that. I remember that piece of everything being closed and everyone at home. I miss it.
Well, let's go back to 1984.
Yeah.
I remember in 1984 in Canada, none of the stores were open. It was actually a law. Like, you're not allowed to open on Sundays.
Yeah, we had the same thing until people from other religions came. And
And they started being like, how come we can't go shopping on Sundays? Well, why'd you come here then? Go back to your own Sunday shopping country.
And we had half a day Saturday, so the shops opened from 9 till 12, and that was it. They didn't open again till Monday, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and I think the reason why they made up that rule is like because the people that work at these places for a living, they need to have Sunday off too because they want to go to church.
Yeah.
At least I think that's probably how it started.
So I had to cheat. I pulled up some resources. Movies.
Oh,
I found a list of the top 50 movies from 1984.
whoa.
Damn, is there even enough time in 1984 to watch 50
I was going to
movies?
say, I wonder if I watched it. I probably caught up later.
So, like, should I start at the bottom and work my way up, or start?
I think you
on
should start at the
top?
bottom, yeah.
Okay.
Save the best for last.
You got it.
It's a countdown. Countdown.
Or count up.
Some of these movies I've not heard of, but some of them are classics. Just from me scrolling all the way down. Bachelor Party is number 50.
I do remember. I don't think I watched it, but I remember people watching it and raving about it.
That's probably a young Tom Hanks. The Honest One, All of Me.
That was a great movie. All of Me was a great movie. Steve Martin.
I've never seen it. Yeah, Steve Martin's a classic. I can't
Oh,
believe
it's
I've seen
freaking,
that.
you'd love it. Freaking love that
number,
movie. It's
at
great.
number 46, The Times of Harvey Milk.
No, never heard of that. You know someone called Harvey Milk?
I think, didn't we talk about that movie in a previous show? Maybe
How
not.
would it be
I'm
called?
thinking of something else. That name sounds familiar, but I don't think I saw that movie.
Well, the movie is a documentary, and it documents the successful career and assassination of San Francisco's first elected gay city supervisor.
How do they know it was the first?
That's what
It
says.
was the first they wanted you to know
Who
about.
am I to question authoritative news on the interwebs?
It
What
was
about Splash?
the first they wanted you to know about it, because there was probably many before that.
And another one that it's got a great soundtrack, Streets of Fire.
Streets of Fire or Chariots of Fire?
Streets of Fire. Streets of Fire was
I
the
didn't see that
band
one.
with Diane Lane and Michael, the John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band did On the Dark Side. That's the band from this particular movie, Streets of Fire.
I don't remember.
When a mercenary is hired to rescue his ex-girlfriend, a singer who has been kidnapped by a motorcycle gang.
That almost sounds like a Bodyguard type scenario.
Oh, here's a classic. Here's one we'll all know. The Muppets Take Manhattan.
That was a
Yeah,
good movie, actually. If nobody's seen that movie, they gotta see that, because the Muppets, I mean, they're not just iconic. When you put them in a movie, especially that one, it makes you look at the Muppets in a different way. I mean, imagine if you were you could get away with so much shit right now if you're a Muppet.
Oh my
'cause
gosh. This movie, Sex
Identify
Mission,
as muppet? Is that what you're saying?
it sounds like it's a science fiction comedy. At number 39 on the list is a movie called Sex Mission, and it's two scientists are placed in hibernation and should be awakened after 3 years. But when they wake up, it turns out it's been 50 years, and they're the only two males in a new underground society composed exclusively of women.
Oh, one of them movies, maybe.
Red Dawn was 1984.
I remember that movie.
that's a great
Body
movie.
Double. A Passage to India.
God, where was I? Not watching movies, obviously.
Wow, The Bounty, a Mel Gibson pirate flick.
I didn't see that.
Pirate. We should do another pirate show. We haven't had a lot of pirate.
Yeah, will you be back mid-September?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that.
Hey, you want to know something funny? I said to one of my friends yesterday, I'm going. I said, and wouldn't it be funny if we got abducted and we were on our last day of holidays going, wow, that went quick. And he turns around and he goes, yeah, well, there's more out there than there is here. And I just looked at him and I went, yeah, I've heard that. What a thing to say, though. Yeah, there's more out there than there is here. He could have went, and just laughed and said, yeah, that's just a joke.
The Last Starfighter.
Oh, I remember that. That was a really good movie. That's probably the only one I really watched.
Yeah. Well, you know what's cool about that movie is they hinted at the idea that video games could be a source of training for like
Which they'll
military, which they actually are.
No, that's what I'm looking for.
Like,
still today,
how do you think these drone pilots got trained?
Exactly. I reckon if you're a really good game player and you hit certain things, you get the knock on the door, I reckon. Or they abduct you and you don't know.
And a classic, a modern day classic, Stop Making Sense.
I didn't see that.
That's the concert film of Talking Heads,
Oh, hey, speaking of Talking Heads,
directed by Jonathan Demme.
they're releasing a movie at the Toronto International Film Festival. I think it's either this weekend or next. And the Talking Heads are doing a reunion show for it because it's a documentary about them.
Well, I think there's something going on right now with the Talking Heads in Broadway.
I wouldn't be surprised. They're reuniting. So, I mean, hey, if anyone's a Talking Heads fan, heads up. There might be tickets at some point.
Yeah.
And David Byrne is one of the most intelligent musicians that I've ever seen.
I would go see the Talking Heads live. Revenge of the Nerds came in at number 30.
That was a good movie. That's from 84?
Yeah, Repo Man.
Oh, Repo Man. Who was in that movie? Was that Bronson?
Stanton, Harry Dean Stanton, Emilio Estevez, Tracy Walter, and Olivia Barish.
Oh, there was somebody else. I had the poster for that movie in my bedroom.
And one of the chart-busting movie soundtracks. And I'm surprised it came in at 28. From all the hits that the soundtrack gave, I thought it would be higher. Footloose.
Oh, yeah. Only because of the music. Everyone's got a,
Oh my gosh, back in the 80s, it seems like Kenny Loggins was like the soundtrack guru. I mean, it started with Caddyshack, Footloose, Top Gun, all these Caddyshack 2, all these 80s movies.
Oh, them movies I remember. I don't know what list you got.
So this is making me think, like, the birth of soundtracks to movies. You just listed off a bunch of iconic songs that the one guy did for like 3 different movies. It's making me think that like they're trying to implement what they've already figured out for a long time, that you can use music to make people remember the movie, so that when it comes out on video, they can make even more money on it.
Yeah. And coming in at number 26 was 2010, the year we made contact.
Yeah, that was a great movie. I love watching that movie.
Starman.
Starman, I didn't. Oh wait, no, I remember Starman.
Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Now that's something I remember.
That was a
And
great
I've watched
movie.
it a few times.
They found him, but he was that was a great movie. They found him, but he was a kid because they jettisoned his body into a planet that they did this Genesis experiment on. I remember that movie vividly.
Yeah. The Natural with Robert Redford.
I don't think I saw that one, but people like him.
A classic coming in at number 19, Romancing the Stone.
That movie's amazing. Danny DeVito is so good in that movie.
It's just cool, hey. Did they put a spell? Like, why are some movies just really cool, and others all just second?
You know, and I actually even like the sequel to Romancing the Stone, and I think that might have been 86 or thereabouts.
I think I saw it.
Jewel of the Nile.
And there was no Indiana Jones in 1984. Oh wait, we haven't finished the list yet. Did I just spoil the list?
Start from the bottom up. Way to go.
I bet you it's number 1. Temple of Doom.
Surprisingly, at number 18 is 1984.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, well.
In a totalitarian future society, a man whose daily work is rewriting history tries to rebel by falling in love.
Yeah, that's a weird way to rebel, isn't it?
Police Academy.
Oh, yeah, that was funny as if.
Those movies are amazing.
Funny that was. Funny.
Bobcat Goldthwait was just
crazy.
incredible in that movie.
16 Candles, number 15.
No, that should have been number 16.
That was The Killing Fields.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Go on. Give 16 Candles number 16. Why not?
Surprisingly, I have this movie pegged in the wrong year, but number 12 is The Never Ending Story.
Oh, that's a great movie.
The never ending story.
But these aren't ranked in order of like somebody's preference, are they? Because I would have put that like at the top, at least in the top 5.
Number 11, The Karate Kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop.
That inspired me. Yeah, that was
good,
funny.
Yeah, another good soundtrack too.
Yeah.
Gremlins.
Ooh, hey, you know that movie? When I had kids, I showed them that movie. They freaked out. They said that's one of the scariest things they ever saw. And I'm looking at them like, what? And I even bought the little Furby thing, you know. They hated that toy.
That's Gizmo.
Yeah.
That's Baby Yoda with a lot of hair.
Finding them covered up with cushions and that in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, if you look at Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian, it's the same doll that they used for Gizmo in Gremlins. It's the same ear shape, same eye shape. Like everything's the same except Yoda's green.
Well, they actually
or Grogan, whatever you call him.
With the digital age, they've redone Gizmo. He's electronic now. He plugs in. He's Bluetooth, and he does his own like Gizmo.
That's scarier.
What happens if you get that one wet?
Out of the toy.
It probably catches on fire.
And that movie shows you when there's a rule, there's a reason for rules.
Right.
Coming in at number 8, this is Spinal Tap.
Oh my goodness. Every musician needs to watch that movie. This one goes to 11.
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
That movie scared the crap out of me.
yeah, right.
I mean, that movie launched Johnny Depp's career.
Is that the first one?
The first one.
Johnny Depp was in the first Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yup.
I don't remember that.
And
But I do
Robert,
remember Sinead O'Connor had a song in I believe it was the third Nightmare on Elm Street. But I didn't see Johnny Depp in that. That's weird. He must have been a kid.
Lee says yeah, he was. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go and watch
and
it.
I'm surprised this one is not like in the top 3. Ghostbusters coming in.
Oh wow! I went and saw that in the theater.
Who are you gonna call?
And then when the toys came out, and I had, I bet you everybody my age was begging their parents for toys from almost all.
Coming in at number
all
4.
of these.
Cinnamon says wasn't even born yet, and they know Johnny Depp was in that show.
Okay. So I didn't know Johnny Depp was in a movie. Oh my goodness!
Coming
Try
in
to
at
find
number
something
4
else I don't know.
is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
There we go.
I knew it.
Hey.
I knew that.
I don't
movie
remember
would be-
music for that though. Does there any music? See, you think of that, no, there's no music that comes to my head.
And number 3, Once Upon a Time in America.
What is that? That name title sounds familiar, but
A former
Yeah.
Prohibition
Yeah,
era
yeah.
Jewish gangster returns to the Lower East Side of Manhattan 35 years later, where he must once again confront the ghosts and regrets of his old life.
No, I don't know. Back to
Yeah,
Number 2,
I don't
is-
think I saw that one.
Amadeus.
Amadeus.
Oh, I saw that one.
Amadeus.
That's
Uh, okay,
Falco.
drum roll coming in at number 1.
Hang on.
Any guesses?
I don't do drum rolls. I only do joint rolls. Here it is.
I'll give you a hint. I'll be back.
Oh, Terminator.
Yep.
Now that's something that's real Skynet.
Yes, it is.
Because he is going to be back. He was
Yeah.
literally telling us that he's going to be back
Yes, and when I saw that little robot
in the form of Elon
restaurant
Musk.
collecting things,
The
it's very
description
cool.
for the Terminator, a human soldier is sent from 2029 to 1984 to stop an almost indestructible cyborg killing machine sent from the same year, which has
Whoa,
been programmed to execute a young woman whose unborn son is the key to humanity's future salvation.
Okay, 2029 is a pretty dead on year for that. Like, we're almost there. And we're almost there, technologically speaking. If not already.
Yep.
That's scary. You know what sucks? Is movies that you don't like and then they come true.
I'll be back.
Those movies are crappy. What if Lord of the Rings comes true next or something? Like, what's the next movie that's going to come true?
Well, in 1984,
I thought Lord of the Rings.
there was V.
Well, there's that could easily be true because there's lots of people that think that there's people that look like people walking around that are really reptiles underneath.
Well, there was the chick in the news a couple of months ago, a few weeks ago, on the airplane.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, what's going on here? Is media from the past predicting the future, or is media from the past influencing the future?
It's hard to say, but there are a lot of similar stuff going on between now and V. But they came after the scientists first, and when this thing that shut down everything a few years ago, they came after the scientists first and shut them down. Anybody speaking against the narrative got censored or deplatformed.
I remember reading something in the early 2000s that was predicting that there would be a sort of a shift in media towards a nostalgic reference to the 80s, that they were going to purposefully do this. And shortly after I read that, they did the remake of V, which only lasted, I think, one season, maybe
2 seasons. And
it was very short.
They cut it off. It had 2 seasons, and they cut it off right when it was at its peak, where it was going to get really interesting. They cut it off when they had Mark Singer reprise his role as Mike Donovan, and he literally was the government insider, and he was working underground. And it ended the way that it ended, kind of unfair. He walks out, and everybody's been glamorized by the new head queen.
I'm not positive, but maybe some kind of a writer's strike happened around that time.
That was 2010, 2011.
So I wonder if that coincides with that writer's strike. Because there was something that happened. Why there was a reason why they stopped doing that show.
I mean,
I know why.
Even the second miniseries wasn't the view of Kenneth Johnson. Because in the original V, you see them going in and sending the signal out, and then in his follow-up book, he goes into detail about that signal being received, because the second miniseries, which is a one where they use the toxins from the baby and they drop it all from balloons in the sky. That wasn't his concept of how he wanted V to go. So he dropped his affiliation with that, even potential lawsuits and everything. But they didn't want to give him credit when ABC picked it up. But he finally wrote a novel, a sequel to the actual V from 1983, 1984. And in this particular novel, after they have got it took 25 years, and they received the signal, and this alien race called the Zed-T came to help the humans. And they are the enemies of the reptilians. And then the people on Earth are caught in a dilemma, because it's like, okay, your friend, the enemy of your friend isn't your friend. So it's like, what did we get ourselves into? And I'm waiting for the other part to surface so I can dive in and have a conclusion to this chapter.
I remember the original V having a lot more gunfights with laser guns and stuff in
Those
it.
Laser guns, when they went off,
like I had a toy of one of them.
Pyrotechnics were so expensive back in 1983 and 84 when those guns went off. Every time those guns were fired, it was $10,000.
Wow.
I got it's in the other room, but I have an interesting book. I'll have to go grab it because I can't remember the title of it, but it's Fascist Lizards and something.
You got to think, like, if they know that it costs that much money to do X amount of pyrotechnic work, that once they get into the second season, back in the 80s at least, they already know they're generating that kind of advertising.
Yeah,
so they can start up the ante with the special effects as it goes on.
Yeah, and I mean, V as a miniseries, it tanked because Kenneth Johnson didn't have any creative concept with that, and it really did ended up being a Friday night lizard soap opera, reptilian soap opera.
Yeah, I just remember like the remake of V didn't really have any gunfights from what I remember. Maybe I didn't see all the episodes, but I remember there being like a lot of gunfights against aliens. Like it was almost like Star Wars, but it was happening on Earth.
Yeah. Well, in the series, and I might be getting it. It might be trickling into like 1980, late 84, 85. In the series, when it starts out, they're going through recovering of some kind of pandemic or something because they just like a year or so ago
That's interesting.
we had that surge with in egg prices. Eggs were scarce back then. I mean, they were selling eggs like $2 an egg. But a lot of things in V kind of actually kind of mirrored what we've been going through, or
Hmm.
in the whole scarcity with things.
So, okay, that thing I said earlier about whether or not media is influencing the future, or I mean, what another question is like, if something gets old enough, then eventually you're gonna find out, or you're gonna put something together that suggests that it predicted what's happening now. And the older it gets, the easier it is to do that. At least that's the theory that I have. And I'm not sure quite how that works, but I think it's something in the human brain that just automatically tries to look for something familiar, like pattern recognition almost. And so the older something gets, and think about it, the 80s is 40 years old now. So that's
Yeah.
4 decades. That's enough time that you could probably pick up anything from the 80s and say it was predicting what's going on right now. Like anything. At least
Well,
I hope
it's
it's not
more like
anything.
I'm noticing more as I get older. I notice more that the programming that we were exposed to, the television, the movies, that's all news now. And then news right now is lies.
And what better way to hide the truth than to put it in a movie and go, oh, you saw it in a movie, it can't be real. It's just your imagination.
Or it's also another way, I guess, to show it in plain sight. Like, see, we showed you. You didn't do anything about it.
You didn't
So
pick it up.
fair
Yeah,
game.
put it out there. It was all over the place.
It's fair dinkum.
True.
Yeah. And you know what, Jules, you mentioned the V, those tablets I showed you, if you imagine them with a human covering. I've got to let you. Yeah.
Yep.
Next show I do, people, on G'day Saturday, you got to tune in. I got some really good stuff. I gave Jules a quick preview.
Yeah, that's why I was late. For once, I was on time until Luna's like, "Let me show you this."
Yeah,
and I was just there looking.
Hopefully, I can give Polly a quick preview, and you're going to have to wait till next show. Sorry, people. But you're going to love them.
Trust me, you're gonna really dig it.
Think V.
I'm not saying anything.
It's way deeper than V.
Yeah, it is. It is. And again, as usual, everything I put on, whether you got to decide whether it's real or not, I just put it there. Everyone's got their own opinion. So, but it'll be juicy. Just think V. VR reminds me, you know, they made 2 Vs, but before V was the Twilight Zone, I think it was.
That's called a W.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. See, there's a sign in itself. The W, you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a triangle so everyone thinks I'm one of them too. Yay.
You just go on out.
Shh.
Hey, my secret's out.
Yeah, before V, they made that Twilight Zone thing where the visitors came from outer space, right? And they helped humans, and then they went, all come to our planet, and they had a book, and it says to serve man. And then as they were all getting on the craft to go to the other place, this lady runs up and yells out to one of the guys that she knows, "It's a cookbook." To serve man, it's a cookbook. And then V came out, and I'm like, oh, that Twilight Zone thing.
Did they try any of the recipes?
Yeah, there was a cookbook written in another language, and they thought it was to serve man, and they thought it was a book on helping man. That's how naive they were. And then they like, Oh, because they were kind and nice, these beings, very kind and very nice. Loaded them on the trailer.
That's a cool concept, though. I mean, imagine if we got the Rosetta Stone wrong and it was really just a recipe for something.
50 ways to serve humans.
Like we translated everything wrong, and we've based all of our knowledge based off of that since we found it, and everything's wrong. Like,
when
you
I saw
know,
those
when you're
tablets,
sailing in an ocean, well, if you're sailing in an ocean, if you're like half a degree off your course, the further you travel, the farther off course you're gonna get.
True that. Yeah.
So something like that could have happened in history, I think, or it
Yeah,
could have been
I
done
think
purposely, even.
Yeah, I think there's something like that going on because we all get this feeling that things aren't right, and it doesn't matter what we learn and what we look back and that we still go, it's still not right because I don't think we've actually hit it on the head. What's actually going on?
Yeah.
We're right that close because it's the time of truth. Remember?
It's like we've got all these pieces to the puzzle, and we can fit some of them together, but we need the corner pieces or something. Like there's something still missing for me.
I've got a corner piece.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, give me that.
Well, I found it one day, and they said, "This is your piece to the puzzle." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, each human being is a piece to the puzzle. We all are, right?"
Hey, you know what'd be great is if you
And he
could,
said, "I'm a corner piece."
and then I get a corner piece and magically make it appear in my hand and then take
There
it
you
down.
go.
That would be cool. Here it is.
Have you got one, Jules? And then you take it over to Jules.
No, I'll
How
give
many
you.
puzzles
I'll give
can
you a
it be?
piece of gum.
And my corner piece is a top corner piece. If you have a look real quick, and it looks
I mean,
like
it's
little
a
mountains.
corner piece.
Yeah. See, it looks like little mountains. I always thought it was a bottom corner piece, but it's actually a top corner piece with little mountains. In it.
Well, what does it look like if it's a bottom corner piece?
I don't know. Have a look.
Thank you.
I always
Yeah,
thought
it's
it went
still
that
like
way.
it looks
I
like a
only-
top corner piece now, even when
I
you turn
only
it
just
upside down.
realised it, and if it wasn't for you, Polly, I would have never realised. Because you said, piece of the puzzle, we need a corner piece. I'm like, I got it. I got the corner piece.
Corner pieces are the most important part. That's
mean,
why they
perhaps
use the
that's why
cornerstone
people
in
prefer-
masonry.
That's why people might prefer the corner piece on a cake, a sheet cake.
We don't call them sheet cakes here because
That's why I
They
like
are
the
actually-
corner seat.
slightly think it's a different kind of cake. Okay, back to 1984. Oh, yeah, okay.
So I did pull up some news because way unprepared over here.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? And I vaguely remember Baby Faye, the little girl who had the baboon heart transplant.
No, I don't remember that.
That was supposed to be the first baboon organ transplant.
Oh wait, they put a baboon's heart inside of a baby girl?
Yeah.
I think I remember that. It was on the news. And I was like, what? How can a baboon's heart, like, is that going to grow the same? Like, doesn't your heart still get bigger when you're, you know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
don't-
Like, when you're born, your heart's a certain size. And then when you're an adult, your heart's clearly a lot bigger because it's got more work to do. Would a baboon's heart do that? Just get bigger?
The 5th of
Is that a
September,
good idea?
Western Australia becomes the last Australian state to abolish capital punishment.
Yeah, Western
I
Australia.
want to know what happened to that girl.
Even today, you can go to Western Australia, you'll feel the difference between that state and the rest of us. It's really down the line. Cut. It's still a bit right. I don't want to. The R word, you know.
In 1984, on December 1st, NASA conducted the controlled impact demonstration wherein an airliner is deliberately crashed in order to test technologies and gather data to help improve survivability of crashes.
Wow, because at
I
least I
wonder
got
how many people were on that plane.
the first untethered spacewalk. 1984. Space Shuttle Discovery's maiden flight. Hang on a minute. Oh, no, that's all right. Yeah, I don't trust them. Anyway.
October 11th, 1984, aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger or Space Shuttle, astronaut Karen D. Sullivan becomes the first United States American woman to perform a spacewalk.
There you go. Hey, the list I got.
I wonder if she did that in heels.
The list I got, I was looking at it before, earlier in the show, and then we got into conspiracy stuff, because when I looked at the whole list of things that happened that year, it sounds a bit sus.
You know, and I strangely remember this happening. When this happened, July 1st, 1984, the PG-13 rating is introduced by the Motion Picture Association of America.
Ah, that's interesting. Can I read the list out?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll just read it out quickly, because I want you to, this all happened at the same time, and we know now how things run because we've been watching it for a while, and you'll get what I mean. So this all happened in the same year, right? The Ethiopian famine, the pesticide plant in Phopal let off lethal toxic gases, McDonald's restaurant shooting, Mexico City gasworks explosion, Milpera massacre in Australia.
I think the McDonald's shooting was in Canada, wasn't it?
McDonald's restaurant, California.
Oh, okay. That's a different one.
San somewhere, California.
Wow, McDonald's is unlucky.
Yeah, and then there was an explosion. Then we had the Milpera massacre. Then there was the Olympic Games to keep everyone's mind off it. And the Soviet boycotted Olympic things. So that was keeping our mind off it. Coal miners striked.
What did they strike?
Gold.
Gold? Oh, maybe they struck gold.
English.
Hey, we're going on strike. We found some gold.
Yes, and then they started mucking around the money. They took in UK. They took things out of circulation. Then there was a big fire in York Minster. Banks failed. There was another bombing in Grand Hotel Brighton. Then there was something to take your mind off it. Virgin Atlantic Grand flight. Then there was kind of war. Indian troops sent to somewhere for the Golden Temple compound. Can you see what I'm saying, though? All these major things will happen, and then they tried to make you not look by having something happy. There were typhoons. There was just all this stuff. And then they'd have major things to keep you not thinking about it. I just see a pattern there. That's all I'm saying. I can just see a pattern.
So is that famine, is that the same year that Live Aid was? Because I believe that Live Aid was for something like that, some kind of a money fundraiser for a third world country. And Live Aid was for farmers.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
It was all in this recession that they had in the 80s.
Yeah, I just see this pattern because we were all pretty ignorant back then as a whole for people. We thought it was a wonderful world and we could trust everybody.
It's pre-internet.
We all realise different now. And then, I just saw the pattern. It's like, man, they've been doing this stuff to us for a long time. And we just only realised. And we got serious.
I honestly think that the publication or the publicizing of the internet and making it like available to everybody has actually helped people realize the amount of programming that happened in the past, because they're able to talk to people now in other parts of the world in real time and be like, hey, do you remember this? Do you remember that? And sometimes they have similar things and you're like, hey, wait, that's really weird. Like, you guys had the same thing that we had, and it's the same kind of programming. So it's like, how long has the one world government actually been around?
It's
It's been
right.
around for a while. They've just been,
I'd say it's
they
older than 1984.
Yeah, right.
I would almost inclined to say it's always been around. They're just coming out to
Oh, yeah, I reckon in the, yeah, it's a lot, yeah, go back further, I reckon. But yeah, yep. That's all I could say. Yep. 1984. What about the fashion of 1984? I think, because people ask me, my kids and that, what was the fashion like when you were growing up at that stage, when I was a teenager and stuff? And I tell them it sucked. What do you think?
That was an awkward. It was an awkward age. I don't remember a lot of fashion from that time, but
Oh,
I
you're
do. I can tell you the biggest piece of fashion, probably from 1984, and the most popular was you weren't nobody if you didn't have a members only jacket.
That's
Oh,
okay. That's similar to about like what I was going to say about what I remember about 1984 fashion, and I was 7. The kids my age would judge other kids based on the brand names of the clothes that you were wearing. And so you would get made fun of if, like, I mean, we used to have this store called Bargain Heralds. It was like before Walmart was in Canada, but it was like one of these like thrift stores, like for lower income families. And there would be kids joking or like poking fun. I mean, at 7 years old, kids are pretty cruel. And they would say, haha, your parents shop at Bargain Heralds. And the 80s, that's what sticks out the most to me in the 80s was like, if you didn't have Nikes or Reeboks, or like if you weren't wearing Vanier or like whatever the trend was at the time, then you got ridiculed for it almost. And it stayed that way almost through the whole entire 80s.
For me, I would say that started around 85 when product endorsements.
We were a bit slow on that. We didn't get that till the 90s, the brand name.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're backwards, remember?
I feel like definitely the 80s is when it started for sure.
I remember Guess jeans and Keds, but those were later 80s for me. Like
I remember acid wash.
Early, like the early to mid 80s, because I don't even think it was like maybe 84 or 85 when Reebok hit the scene and really took off.
Yeah, we had a couple of brands, but not like yous had. We were behind. A bit slow of things coming out. And no one wanted to know us back then. We had nothing nobody wanted. So we didn't get much.
And I vaguely remember that, Sid. I dropped the link, Sid, if you want to join us. You're the one who's got all this fountain of knowledge. I'm being learned tonight.
Come on, Sid. Come on up. Help jog our memories. You know, it was a long time for me. I was just adding it up. If you had saw me counting my fingers, I was 20, I was like 19, 20.
Bring it on, Sid.
I was a grown-up, supposed to have been.
I was still a juvenile back in 1984.
Yeah, no, I was supposed to be a responsible adult by then. I was responsible for myself. I was the fittest I ever was in my whole life.
I'm not even trying to disguise myself as a responsible adult at this point.
I remember ColecoVision around that time frame.
I used to drink alcohol in them days. That's a sight you don't want to see.
Actually, it's a sight I do want to see. I want to go back there.
No, you don't. Last week for my birthday, I had one drink, man. I'm like, oh, that was horrible. It tasted like gypsy. Sorry. No.
You know what's kind of funny is the natives in Canada react very differently to alcohol as well.
Because we're not supposed to have it. It's not natural. It's in our DNA. Doesn't recognize it.
It's true. There's a physiological difference to how your bodies respond to alcohol and how to get rid of it.
Yep. I went out with a German fella once, and he could drink like a fish. He could drink a carton and 2 bottles in one night and nothing. He would just walk through it. But in his DNA and his blood, they all drank like Germans or drink alcohol. And the Irish, Scottish, yeah.
The Scots, they can do that too, but they can't just like walk straight afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Never seen nothing like it. Anyway, yeah, we're not supposed to have it. It does terrible things to us. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
I mean, they don't call
Well,
it spirits for no reason.
Cheers to that then.
cheers to that. I've got no tea. Teetotaler?
Yeah, 2 different kinds of tea. This one's made from hops.
Tea. All right. Yeah, so 1984. Can't even remember what I did for my birthday. Probably
I
not.
can't either.
Um,
I'm sure there was cake.
I still lived at home. I know that much.
What a coincidence!
You lived at home? Yeah. What about you, Polly? Were you still at home at that day? I mean, yeah.
One of them.
I
I was still at one of them.
had
Yeah,
moved out for a
I was
little
at the
while,
first
but I
one
ended up
still.
living home again. Yeah.
I
So-
don't think I left that home until it was at least 1987, I think.
Yeah, I moved out and moved back in a few times. It's always good to go home when you need to. Yeah.
I mean,
what
I
else?
went through a huge part of my life trying to forget the 80s, so it's ironic that I'm doing a series of shows remembering every single year of
I'll
the
tell you
80s.
something, talking about
But it's all the
travel,
good things that I remember. It's not.
that's good. Yeah. I'll tell you something. Back in 1980, this is something I do remember. Thanks for jogging my memory, you fellas. My dad used to make these things, models. My dad made models. So one day I got this bright idea to get his paint that he used for his models, because it was all fine brushes and that, paint my nails and draw pictures on them all. Well, guess what's in fashion these days? You know how they do their nails and that? I did that in 1984, right? You know what else I did in 1984? I had piercings in 1984. And you should have seen the shock and horror in everyone. It was all right to have a tattoo, but when I put the piercings in, the shock and horror, everyone was like fainting around me, so I pulled them out. And I thought, wow, that's not acceptable right now. And it's all in fashion now, so I'm just sitting there going, oh, I should have been a teenager now. And I had a big butt, because they're in fashion too now. But yeah, that's something I remember. I forgot all about that. I used to do my nails like they do now, not the extensions. They were just mine.
I just did a little sniffing around, and I've
Yep.
never seen this. But I'm going to share my screen because it's a commercial from 1984. Let me see if I can get you guys' opinion on it.
Okay. I'm reading Morons. He said it's a bit of a blur, and it's coming back to haunt you. That's what it's like. When your memory
I
comes
keep
back.
ignoring the chat. I'm sorry, chat. I keep ignoring you.
I'm
I'm not ignoring you. I'm just
I'm in a
distracted.
crazy mood, so I'm noticing everything.
Well, when I was 7, I could.
Glorious anniversary of the information purification directives. Created another time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of any contradictory influence. Unification of the laws is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one
Is that a Hooters girl? Same uniform, just saying.
We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Lies!
I'm muted. They're telling you. Everyone turn your computer off now. No. That's the thing. It's like, just turn it all off. But how am I going to talk to you then? That's scary, Jules. Thanks.
Yeah, I had never seen it.
No,
But the most popular commercial from, according to this basic internet search with Microsoft and our friend Mr. Gates, according to this particular place, the number one commercial from the 80s is that we all know it. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop?
About the same amount of tears it takes to get to the center of a toilet roll.
Oh, and a classic.
Something there.
Where's the beef?
Oh, I remember that one.
Oh, and the Folgers coffee commercial, Peter Comes Home for Christmas. They still play that commercial from time to time.
We don't have
They had
them.
some whacked out commercials, didn't they? Do you remember the Nabob commercials? It's a kind of coffee.
We don't have them. Australia had funny commercials. You used to laugh your heads off.
I mean, I found like a bunch of commercials and stuff, but I'm afraid if I play, YouTube's going to copyright me.
Probably.
Whoops.
What does that mean?
Probably.
If they copyright you, what does that do?
Oh,
Does it hurt?
probably.
I don't know.
And can they clone you from that?
I kind of want to just make a video that gets copywritten on purpose now and see what happens. Not here, obviously. But
No. You
And
do
what
it
happens
like in the near future, we won't be able to do anything in Australia. So
what I want to try to do
I'll go
is
like
I want to use my own music in a video, and then I want to copyright strike myself
that.
because I didn't give myself permission,
All right.
and see if they take it down.
That
Because algorithms can be pretty stupid that way, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah, I agree.
This is how we're going to beat them.
Yep. I'll tell you how you are anyway. Yeah, you're right. Let's try it.
Yeah, you're not going to copyright me. I'm going to copyright myself first. There you go.
Oh, another popular 80s commercial. Oh yeah, the Kool-Aid Man.
It's a walking picture. How did I buy that? I used to dye my hair with Kool-Aid though.
Yeah, back in the day, dyed hair with Kool-Aid.
Would that have
And then when it rained,
we put glue in our hair too.
and then if you sweat too much or it rained, it tasted like orange Kool-Aid.
What a thing to do.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? I've got a list. I don't know. I don't think there's anything on my list.
Go for it.
Let's have a look.
Hair dye was so expensive in the 80s. When you're talking about pennies on the glass, you're saving tons of money if you're dyeing your hair with it.
I mean, if you weren't dyeing your hair, you were doing a rave at home perm.
I couldn't dye my hair. I can't until I went grey. It was just so black that nothing worked. My sister could. She's
I
like
dyed a couple of weeks ago, and I need to dye again.
Yeah, and you know how many times we die in one lifetime?
Maybe about 5 times as much.
All right, what have I got here? This is a bit boring now. This is a real serious one. Nothing special. Oven range, $899 in 1984. Popular films. We already done that, did we? Popular films, yeah. Did we do
did
popular
some of
films?
them.
We did some of them.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm surprised A Christmas Story didn't make that list.
Yeah, it's not on here. I got it. My list had some of them.
Because it was around the same time as Revenge of the Nerds, and that made the list.
Splash is on my list. We didn't say that.
That was a good movie. Hey, you know what? That might be one of the only movies that's not foreshadowing anything, unless you think that there's mermaids.
Yeah, he's interesting, fun, popular TV in America. We did have some of these shows. Magnum PI, Dynasty, Entertainment Tonight, Falcon Crest.
Okay, how do you say it? Do you say Dynasty or Dynasty?
Dynasty.
Yeah, okay.
Is it Dynasty? It's.
I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I still know what you mean.
Dinner one. Yeah. Because in our way, it's Anyway, I'll just say it the way it comes out. You've got to recognise that we do have different ways. Basically, we butcher every word. No, all right. Entertainment Tonight, Falcon Crest, Hill Street Blues, Cagney and Lacey, Cheers, Fame. I remember that one. Knight Rider, The A-Team, and
Jeopardy. I was going to say the A-Team has got to be on that list.
Yeah, the A-Team.
What were the popular cartoons?
I don't have that.
He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Scooby-Doo, but I don't know if any of those actually started in '84, but I know they were around.
I mean, Scooby-Doo was around before the '80s. So was the Flintstones. I think we talked about that in the past on how the Flintstones evolved. They were around in the '50s. They were actually originally airing in black and white on, I think it was ABC, and Winston was their sponsor. And there were 2 or 3 different clips floating around the internet where Fred and Barney are smoking Winstons. That was in the 50s.
Yeah, I've seen those.
In the 60s. And then by the time we came along in the 70s, 80s, there was like the new Flintstones or the Flintstone Kids. There was a different reversion of it. It's like
I remember that when
Scooby-Doo was always recycled for a new generation, even today.
Bam Bam and Pebbles, they were teenagers. I remember that.
And the Teen Angels and Captain Caveman.
Oh man,
Captain Caveman was a weird dude. Looking back on him,
I know the cartoons.
I don't even want to try to draw Captain Caveman in case I end up drawing something else by accident.
Hey, here's something. Genetic fingerprinting or DNA profiling was developed and is now in wide use by forensics. That was in 1984. They had DNA profiling and genetic fingerprinting.
What a coincidence. That omnibus year, 1984.
Yep.
I was having a great time.
I was too.
Completely oblivious to all of this stuff.
We had fun.
I think I was playing baseball or something. I don't know. Yeah, now looking back on it, I'm like, how did I make it out of there?
I was probably just putting down the strawberry shortcake playing outside.
I was out in the world doing stuff.
So I guess out of this crowd, Luna's the one with experience.
That was free. That was when I was totally free. They were the days in Australia you could jump in. We could have a ute. What do you call it? You know, the truck with the flat back and the sides up. You can get in the back. We call it a ute. I think you call it a pickup truck. This is what me and my friends used to do because there's cities this way and then the mountains. So one of the friends from the city would get his ute and pick us all up and would go partying up the mountains at someone else's house for the weekend and then drop us all back. But we used to just jump in the back of the ute. No seatbelts, nothing. That's how free it was here. It was so free, man. You got no idea. Most people drove around unregistered, unlicensed. And like Australia was really free. And compared to today, it was free, man. It never occurred to us that we could fall out the back of the truck or anything going uphill. They didn't, But it was fun.
No, I mean I mean, we probably had the last innocent childhood. I mean, we rode in the back of a pickup truck, no seatbelt. We drank water from a hose. We did okay. We didn't get plastic poisoning or anything. And you always had to let the hose water run for a minute or two, and then the cool water started to come through. We played outside, came home when the street lights came on. This was before.
Yeah, we used to play.
There
we
was
used to play
before
a
cell
version of
phones, before
tag.
all this technology. There was always somebody around, whether you knew it or not. Somebody's older brother or somebody in the neighborhood was always around if there was an emergency, because we didn't have cell phones back in those days.
Oh,
You could always tell what all your friends were. All you had to do was go look for all the bikes. Wherever all the bikes were, that's where everybody was.
yeah. Two them days are free. No phones. It was cool.
I was just gonna say, like in 1984, around then, we all had BMX bikes, and we used to play tag on bikes. But the like it would be like 3 or 4 blocks worth of grounds. Like basically, everybody from each kind of wherever you lived, there'd be boundaries of like streets that you couldn't go down. But it was like, like half the neighborhood. We'd be riding around in the middle of the road because no one else was driving around, and it was perfectly safe.
Yeah.
No helmets, no parents out there. You crazy kids, get out! It wasn't anything like that. It was just like all the dudes that had a BMX bike that liked to play in this game, and new kids would come out and they'd be like, "Hey, can I play?" And it would be like, "Yeah, cool. What's your name? Let's go. You're it." If you that's how you get initiated into the game. Okay, you're it. Try to catch somebody, and we just like ride our bikes all over everywhere, on people's lawns. Like we wouldn't cause any damage or anything like that, but we'd like ride on curbs, sidewalks. You try to do stuff to get away from the guy if he's chasing you, right? And the way you got tagged was either he could ride up alongside you and hit you, or he just had to touch his tire to your bike. Like his front tire just had to touch your bike anywhere, and that's the same as a tag. We used to play that for hours until the streetlights came on. Then we all went home.
Yep.
And no one got abducted.
Ha! Yeah, it wasn't even a thing back then.
Yeah.
Nope. And
no one even got offered free candy from a van.
I actually had a friend who had a motorbike that was held together with string. Virtually wire. And I lived in a cul-de-sac for a little while. And this was around this 1985 probably. And he used to come up and he taught me how to ride a bike in the cul-de-sac, around and around and around, one way and around back the other way. That's how I learned first time on a motorbike. Because we weren't allowed to have push bikes, Polly. Only my older brother was. Because we weren't deemed capable. I don't know. Mum worried too much. I wasn't. I don't know. Well, we weren't allowed to have bikes. So when I was little, I did the same. I borrowed my friend's sister's bike and we'd ride around everywhere. Same when you come back to night time. That's real freedom. You got to wear a helmet now here if you want to ride a bike, push bike. Even a scooter, like, them little electric scooters, you got to wear a helmet on them. You're supposed to. I think we should just wrap ourselves up in cotton wool and a bit of sticky tape.
Jules, I think they're asking you to drop the link for the StreamYard link.
I just did.
No, you're dropping the link for independentbroadcasting.com.
What? No, like in chat.
In chat.
That's a banner.
Oops.
Maybe my YouTube's way behind, but I don't see it there.
No, I don't either. I can't do it for you either.
I'm StreamYard retarded, so I don't know how to do anything.
I don't know if I can do it. I'll
So-
see if I can do it.
I just copied the link and I just pasted it in chat.
So did I.
Why is YouTube not working for me then?
And I've got my chat set
How
to
come I can
live.
do it? Oh, I can
Oh,
do it.
there it
You gave
is.
me a wrench. You gave me a wrench. That's why I can do it.
Well,
Did you not give
I'll-
yourself a wrench, Jules?
apparently not. Luna's got it. I mean, I'll drop it. I'll drop it in Discord. Is there any specific place you want me to drop this at? Gosh, I didn't realize. I apologize. I had no idea my stuff wasn't coming through. I'm going to quickly drop this in
It did
Discord.
come through. It did come through, Jules.
It did?
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
before mine.
there.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to join.
Yeah, it's before mine. There might be a glitch in the system because we're talking about 1984.
Sorry, Sid. I gotcha. And Connie, you mentioned I'm gonna drop you too.
Hang on.
My bad. So feel free to join us.
Yeah, Jules, your name's not blue. In the chat, like when your name's not blue. You're not a moderator. You can't
So
drop
weird.
anything. You can't drop anything.
Luna, I take your title. I am the tech-hearted one.
Luna could
What?
kick you out of your own chat room.
What happened? What did I mean? Sorry.
I hereby
No.
claim title of tech-hearted.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give
That's
you the
funny,
trophy.
though.
Here's the trophy. Gotta laugh. Gotta laugh.
And
Okay, but now the link's in there. I
if
feel like we're
anybody
waiting
wants to
for
join
somebody.
in, I sent
Yeah, we're
Sid
waiting for
the link.
someone.
through
What are we waiting
Discord.
for?
I sent Sid and I sent Connie the link.
Somebody said it was an emergency.
Oh, what have I done?
Yeah, emergency panel message, and then the link is dropped. It's been minutes, so it can't be that much of an emergency. It's been minutes.
Whoops.
Oh wait, there could be something else at work.
Oh man, what have I done? Yeah, don't worry, I'm mucking up here. Here we are, that's better.
What the hell is up with my stuff?
It's not me. Someone else is it? It must be someone else. Oh.
It can't be me because I haven't done anything
I tried.
except click on.
I
I
dropped
just
the
click
link.
on
in.
mute once in a while.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I feel like singing and then I'll get you shut down. Now I can sing my own songs, eh? There you are, we can copyright myself.
Yeah, you can sing your own songs.
Yeah, cool.
You can copyright yourself too. I think it's totally legal.
How much you going to give yourself a cup for?
I've never won though.
Me neither.
What's the going rate?
And I'm actually going through StreamYard. I'm not going through YouTube, so I have no access to YouTube.
I'm really funny. I went out shopping with one of my offspring the other day, and we stand in the shop, and like for a whole week, it's like I've got a radio going on. I can keep hearing different songs, right? So I'm sitting in the shop dancing to this music that I can hear in my head, and my daughter turns around and just looks at me and went, "I'm sorry," and I just kept dancing. What do you do? Right? What do you do? No
Nothing you
restraints.
can do.
No, you just got to let it happen.
It's not your
when it
fault.
goes. Let it happen. I wish I could plug a speaker into me so you could hear what I'm hearing.
Yeah, if you could plug a speaker into my head, it would be the same song over and over and over and over again, and it would be
Pretty
just,
much.
it's
Same
too
here.
funny. I can't share it yet. It's done, but I can't share it. But it's just too. I can't even have it singing in my head and not laugh yet. So trying to perform this song is going to be almost impossible.
Oh, I
It's
love
gonna
that
need-
picture.
It's going to need
See?
a lot of practice.
Yeah, it's a good picture.
Can't even think about it.
I can
It's
hear
too
you. I
funny.
can plug in other people and hear their heads.
Booyaka.
Hey, go, man.
Hey, Sid.
There he is.
I can't say it on
What's good,
live,
Sid?
but normally
Ready
I'd
for
greet you and
breakfast?
go, how you going, you F&B? How you going, bro?
My name is Bruce. I'm a sheep shearer.
Photo.
Dude, either you're
Ain't that
really
right,
small or
Tony?
that's a big gun.
Hey, that's the world's biggest revolver.
Hang on. How tall are you,
It looks
Sid?
like it.
6'2".
It's a big gun.
Isn't that short for your part of the world?
Eh,
I'd have to look
Middle.
up to you, Sid.
No? Middle. It's middle. 6'2" is middle. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have a lot of friends taller than me, but there's also shorter, a lot shorter. They have short guys. Yeah.
You got me beat by almost a foot.
I'm short.
So what were you doing in 1984, Sid?
I started second grade.
True.
In Viking school?
Yeah,
I feel out of place, man.
I learned to trade with Native Americans.
Ooh, interesting.
I think I was in fifth
Probably-
grade in 1984.
I don't want to
Yeah,
ask.
it's we do different here. Here we
Ah.
start school. When I was young, we started school when we were 7.
Oh yeah, we're 5.
That was first grade. And before that, you had like kindergarten, or you had something called if I translate directly, it's like the 6-year club.
That's what I had. I had like kindergarten, and I don't remember preschool, but kindergarten, and then it was 1st through 6th grade at one school. 7th grade was at another location. 8th grade was at another location, and then 9 through 12 were in one place.
Wow. I went to primary school, which was only a few streets behind my house, and the high school was across the road from the primary school. So it was the same area for everything.
Yeah, it's a lot
shops.
like that here too.
Yeah, behind that was the shops and the pub. So you can imagine how it went. You know,
Oh yeah.
we'd all go to the shops at school time.
Nice.
We were allowed to
When
go
You
I
gotta
home.
was
have a
in
pub
my
across the
early
street from a school.
20s.
Yeah. Did you ever have you allowed to go home for lunchtime?
No. But people did it in the big. They had one big recess
Oh, we
Yeah,
had lunch.
during the day.
We
It
were
was
allowed.
like 35 minutes or so, but you were not supposed to leave the school area, and that
Oh.
was for eating time and stuff. Everybody had to bring their own food.
Yeah,
And
Back before
but the
peanut
people-
allergies.
that was better.
be-
That was a better one.
but the people who lived close to the school,
Same.
obviously they just skedaddled off home, brought a couple of friends or something.
Yeah.
Sounds like what we had in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, back
Same
in
thing,
elementary
same
school,
thing.
you were forced to
Yeah.
bring your lunch or eat cafeteria. Most people
There
brought
was
their
no
lunch,
cafeteria in my school.
and then going in high school, there was one central cafeteria. It was pretty much divided. They had cafeteria, and then they had what they called fast cafeteria, which was like French fries and a slice of pizza. Nothing nutritional.
We had nothing like that. No.
If
I mean,
you had
I
been served that
always
in
brought lunch,
school
but I
in
never-
Norway,
For
the
8.
parents would have come to the school and slapped them on their butts naked, because that's not healthy.
Yeah, we didn't have junk. We got little bottles of milk when we were in primary school.
The
Every
milk
morning.
at the cafeteria, it was called a half pint. It was like yay big.
Yeah, we had
And if you had coins, you could either buy like a half pint of milk or a pencil. I think pencils were like 10 cents, 15 cents. You needed a pencil, there was always somebody that was there early that worked at the administration with the school, and they would like sell school supplies out of a supply cabinet. You could get like 20 sheets
That's
of
also
loose-leaf
not
paper,
allowed here.
an eraser, a pencil, just the odds and sods.
I went on strike when I was in primary
That's
school
free.
because of my pencils. The teacher threw them in the bin, and I went. My mum just bought me them. You know how expensive they are because we didn't have a lot of money. And I just packed everything up on my desk and sat there and went, I'm not doing anything. I'm on strike. What I didn't realise was everyone thought it was a good idea, and they all went on strike too.
I miss those pencils that they were in the plastic tube, and they had like 10 or 12 little bits with tips on them, and then you would just pull it out and put it at the top, pull it out.
Oh yeah, you click on the top of them. Yeah.
I remember
thin ones.
those,
Yeah.
and I actually had to buy pencils a couple of months ago, searching for a pencil nowadays that I'm older.
Yeah, it's not like that.
It was a struggle more than I thought it would be, because I had the hardest time finding an actual lead pencil.
They don't make
They're doing
You're
away
not
with
allowed to
lead.
buy that anymore. That's
They're doing
not
away
good
with
for
that,
you.
and that's the part that didn't bother me. It's the rubberized stuff that they're using. They're not even using wood anymore. So I had to cave and buy like actual expensive pencils just because I'm a freaking nerd.
As a good thing about having grandparents and stuff, they save everything, even old pencils.
I want to show you something a bit with pencils. Hang on. Where's all my stuff? I can't even see the screen. Here we are. Be back.
I know they made colored. I in the past I had colored markers.
Yeah.
Were scented crayons ever a thing?
Yes, I also had a scented ballpoint pen.
Yeah, I remember seeing some scented ink pens, but definitely
Yes.
markers.
Yep.
I remember when scratch and sniff stickers were all the rage back in the day in the early 80s. And I don't know what it is with 80s, but
The good
stickers.
ones always.
It's
were
like
expensive.
to this day I still have a fondness for stickers. And I shouldn't be admitting that, but stickers. If a company sends me something with a sticker, it's like an added bonus.
Put it somewhere. Yeah. I got
What other
a
kind
few
of
stickers.
tidbits do you have, Sid? You brought up some stuff that I had forgotten. The Olympics.
Oh yeah. Summer Olympics in the US 1984.
Luna's back, but she's muted.
I found what I was looking for. I want to show you, because talking about pencils, I love pencils and crayons and all that. So, and I love tiny things. So I've got tiny crayons. Look,
Aww.
hang on, I'll show you.
Do they actually write?
Yeah, they're real. See? Tiny crayons.
Oh.
And they go in this little container. Yeah, they actually work. And I've got tiny pencils somewhere. I was looking for them, but I can't find them. I've got a pack of tiny pencils as well.
And I have no idea the tiniest pencil. I will write them down until they're like the size of those little pencils that you would get if you went to play miniature golf, like 2-inch pencil that you can barely hold in your hand.
And I've got tiny sticky tape to go with it.
I'll race you one.
Oh, I love your hat.
It is a nice hat. I like it, but I also want to throw on some Devo at the same time.
Here's
With
a
the
pencil.
tool.
Proper pencil.
When a problem comes, I can't sing. I'll get copywritten.
Oh, background noise. Background.
Yeah, special delivery.
Well, I can say one thing about 1984, that we're all still here, so it mustn't have been that bad.
Yeah,
True.
that's one way to think about it.
I mean, we're not in perfect condition, but you know, that's 1984 for you.
Hey, still here.
No, I mean, and Puddin' Pops were like the rage of a snack for me in 1984. I don't know when they launched, but they had to be around 84. I don't remember any like candies being introduced, but around that time frame, I know that I probably consumed some now and laters.
I remember one.
What's that?
It's a Norwegian thing.
A Norwegian.
Is it licorice?
Yum.
It's like the only like Norwegian food we have here is Norwegian fish, and they're like the Swedish fish, but they're the colored ones. That's a cool box.
Ooh.
We call it the diving lady. It's small licorice.
Are they
things.
like licorice, like small strips? It looks like a box of American cigarettes.
Ha! Yeah, get one out.
When I first looked at it, I honestly thought that it was a box of Bali Highs, because when I would smoke clove cigarettes, that was the brand, and the box looked similar to that. It was blue and yellow.
And it's extremely salty.
Oh.
Oh.
And this went away for over 20 years. And so many people my age and older was yelling to get this back. So now it's in the shops again.
Cool. So
Yeah.
You ever get that mixed up with like a big chunk of hash?
I'm professional.
Just wondering. I would have.
Nah.
You know what I would have done though? I would have just made sure that if I had a big chunk of hash, I wouldn't make it in the same shape as one of those candies.
Talking about that, I went into town the other day, which I don't go very often. There's a new shop, and it had it's like a smoking shop, and I thought, oh, I might sell implements and stuff, right? And I'm standing outside looking through the window, and it's what's it? A shisha. You know, the Lebanese shishas. You know how they smoke them things?
Yep.
It's one of them shops, right? And I looked in, and I said to the person I was with, well, I know one thing, it doesn't make women feel like, as a woman, I didn't want to go in there, right? And then it dawned on me, hang on, that's a shisha shop, and in their language, hash is called hashisha.
Yeah.
So I wondered what they were smoking in there.
You know what? I've always wondered what they're smoking in there too, but it's not illegal. They've them all over where I live.
Yeah, it's
There's these
tobacco.
shisha bars.
Exactly. Well, they got one here now. I've never seen it before, right? And didn't look inviting like it's in. But I just wonder what they smoke in there, because it's a shisha bar, and the other one's called hash shisha.
Holy. Look
Well,
at
if you're
this.
allowed to drive away from these bars, then it's probably not that funny. It's probably not that fun. You know, like
I just thought it was a men's club.
Licorice?
How do you say licorice in your language?
okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay, there's no confusion.
Nope. Definitely not any confusion there.
Okay. And when are you coming to my house?
You would choke on that, man.
Now I'm
Don't
gonna have a little more licorice.
Look, that was teasing us. Well, you just got teased.
I know.
This
And
is
that,
why we
for
love
those that didn't know what that was, that's natural licorice.
It's
Nature's
only licorice.
Natural licorice. That's what it looks like.
I wouldn't be stupid enough to show real drugs on the internet. Are you silly?
Of course not. That's fake news.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Ron. Ron just.
I even have fake tobacco.
Ron's say it's tobacco. Yeah. Tobacco.
I've never had it, but I can I speculate that it's along the lines of like hookah tobacco.
Yeah, that's the same stuff. That's what we're talking about. They call it.
I know
shisha.
it's flavored.
So I have to say,
get
for the
different
first-
flavors.
I have never done hookah, and I would do hookah with you guys.
It says smoking kills.
Oh, is that what it says? Roy King Dripper. It
Yeah.
sounds like it. Dripper.
Yeah, you know, it'd be cool is if we could make like a hookah out of those like underwater pipelines for all the fiber optic cables, and they go to like all the different continents of the world and connects all the internet together. We'll hijack that and use it as a giant hookah.
So who's going to pack it, Polly?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll bring my pipe.
That's a
You
good
don't
point.
need to do that.
Okay, we maybe need to work out some of the logistics for this one, but I think it's a great idea.
Totally.
I think so.
Pipe is.
Oh,
free.
hang on. I'm jogging my memory. Just jog my memory, Polly. Back in 1984, things were a lot better. I mean, the trees they grew back then were a lot more bigger and natural and tasty. You know what I'm saying?
We also had an ozone layer. That was cool.
Yeah.
Easier not to
You
get
guys
Well,
remember
wait,
the ozone
police.
layer? Yeah.
Well, we pretty much depleted that by the end of the 80s with all the Aquanet.
Oh, dear.
We also had what else did we have? Those things you throw at the wall. You just like get them wet. You throw them at the wall, and then they just stick there and climb
Yeah, I
down.
remember them. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 70s, but I remember them vaguely from the 80s. Those little, you would get these little straws that you would put, and you blew up your balloon, but it was like a balloon of toxic chemicals.
Right. And for anybody that's really
yeah.
young out there that's listening to this, I'm pretty sure we started recycling, or this thing that we call recycling, in the 80s. And I'm not sure if it was 84, but I'll tell you this. It doesn't work because there's still a huge friggin' island of plastic floating around in the ocean. So whatever you want to make out of that, their whole recycling industrial complex was born in the 80s.
When I was growing up, we had.
Thinking about that, and I don't know. I mean, it could be related to 1984. You mentioned the whole plastic floating island and recycling programs starting, and could that be like the earliest part of climate change with the green agenda today?
It's because there's too many cows.
It's bullshit, man.
Then we need to eat them.
They far too much.
There's pollution, what we made, and the rest of it's a part of a great cycle.
See,
And
people
then
need to stop eating so many vegetables and eating cows instead.
There's somebody in a room fucking around with our weather. Sorry for the French.
The cows are eating all the vegetables.
Yeah, you shouldn't eat that much
Yeah.
meat.
And they make gas.
We make more gas than
Cow sounds good right
No,
now.
Maybe you do, but I don't.
One
Well,
volcano.
I
can
haven't
put
eaten a
out more
cow.
CO2 than all of the cows and all of the humans combined in a decade. One volcano can do that in a day.
I haven't eaten a cow for 40-something years. So,
I'm sorry, Luna. I had cow last night.
Well, Luna, don't eat that cow. It's too old.
Yeah, it's probably got some kind of
Get a newer one.
disease or something going on if you waited that long.
Well, I've had him around. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just left him.
Yeah.
And he grew and got fatter. What was I supposed to do?
Yeah, you can't milk a bull.
You sure?
I wouldn't suggest it.
Yeah, if you want to check out,
Maybe where you come from.
It's not as good in your coffee, if you know what I'm saying.
It's called cream.
next time you're on the interwebs, check the
Listen
name
more.
for Adore Bull.
Adorable.
Adorable.
Or they are afraid that the climate is going to get warm enough to be comfortable for the reptilian. Well, I'll tell you now that I'm not against warming it up for the lizard people because it's freezing. I don't know. I think they want to make it.
It's like they're terraforming.
Yeah, they are. Hey, I gotta say, when I was a kid, I never saw many red plants here in Australia. We had one native plant that's edible, but now there's lots of different kinds of red plants. Have you got that over there? What about you, Sid? Do you have red plants there?
Strawberry?
No, just plants with red stems and leaves. Like we've got a lot
Not
more
stems. No, they're green.
red
Green.
plants than we used to have.
Beets have red stems.
Yeah, just
I
plants.
tried
in,
beets once.
They
I don't
also
know.
make you pee red.
just plants
No,
in general.
that's something else.
But
Sid,
you
you
know,
should get that looked at, man.
if you look at the history of the world, it has gone through that many changes. Really, from small to severe. Like we've had.
Cannabis plants have been known to turn red sometimes or purplish in the stems, but usually it only happens when they're under stress.
Yeah, we get the purple one
Or
here.
if you have a really good strain.
Maybe something's going on there.
I'm in Sid's camp. If it's a really good strain, I like it purple.
Purple
Right.
rain, purple.
Purple haze.
Haze.
Purple hat.
Purple haze. Anyway, yeah, we got different names for stuff here.
So are you suggesting, Luna, are you suggesting that these plants are just changing color or are they new plants?
Hybrids.
Well, they look new to me because I've never seen red ones.
Hybrids.
I don't know, just normal, and I buy them because I like them actually.
Oh, wait
So
a
I've got
minute.
a
So
couple
you're-
of different plants.
I forgot. Your trees don't change color, do they?
No. No,
So
we got
in-
one.
Where I live, a maple tree has green leaves in the summer, but when the fall comes, they all turn red.
And they
Yeah,
fall off.
eucalyptus ones don't.
Yeah,
But
and some of
we
them
got
turn
yours.
yellow, some of them turn orange.
I know, I've seen
Yeah,
that. I've seen
same
pictures
here.
of overseas.
Some of our leaves have already started to change colors, and that usually doesn't happen for another 4 months. Let's see.
Well, we get wattle, and that's yellow. That comes out. We got a Illawarra flame tree, and what happens when it flowers? It just looks like it's on fire because it's all red, and it's really big. And then we don't have the same coloured trees like you fellas, which I've seen pictures of, and they're absolutely
So-
wonderful.
Why I asked that is that I'm suggesting that maybe either your plants are learning how to change color because of the
Yep.
environment somehow, or there's an invasive species.
No, I think the plants are
In
changing.
Australia? No. Never heard about that before.
They're changing colour. 'Cause I got a
Yeah, except
Yeah.
half the people there are invasive species.
If you were here in real life, I'd go, "Ow." No, you're right. Yeah, we are definitely different. We've been
Yeah,
invasive. Like, you know how many people have come here in the last 20 years? Man. Like I
I
said,
know.
That's what I
no
was
one
referring to.
know about us. You say Australia, and it's like, nah, no one wants to know about that. It's in the middle of nowhere. Now we're like,
There's
should have
there's
said that.
probably more people in Australia that are an invasive species than there are original people.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Thanks, Polly.
That's what I meant to say.
More people in Sydney than there is in all of Norway.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Sydney's about an hour away from me.
Oh, that must be so good to have that much room.
Uh,
Yeah, it's spacious. Like, I've spoke to people from other places, and they said I
it's
wouldn't
both
like
up and down.
I need space. Yeah, any Aussie needs space. Real fair income Aussies, you know.
I'll have to
You-
find the picture, but my perfect picture for space, it's Aquarius, and it says Aquarius be like, I need my space. And then we're sitting on the we're on the moon with a beer in one hand and our feet propped out looking at Earth.
Here we are with the sidle again. Good morning. It's weekend.
Yeah, it's the weekend.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
Yeah, it's
It is
Saturday.
now.
It's been cat today here for 6 hours.
I
Lucky.
should have done it, man. I'm sitting on something really cool. I was busting at the seams to deliver it to you. Now I've got to wait.
Yeah, Luna. So when
Don't know.
are you going to be returning?
Don't know. No, I'll be gone probably the end of the first week of September. I just hope if I can stop somewhere and get Wi-Fi and get my little laptop magically to work, I got a good show for you. And it might not be on a Saturday. That's the problem. I don't know.
Where you
going? I wonder where you're going if you can tap into Earthlink.
I don't know. I won't know till I get there, see. And then I've got to remember
Burkina Faso.
because I live in the moment so much. It's like, oh yeah, I should have took a photo.
And you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with living in the moment. Those are some where the best times are made.
Yeah, but I can't sit on what I've got for
Depends
you.
on when the moment is.
Yeah, I can't sit on what I got for you for that long. I'm too excited.
No, I can tell you, Luna's right there because the first second I had to do a double take, and it's like I want to see that one, and then it was just I couldn't believe what I was looking at.
Yeah, and then it's like, hey,
whether they are real or not.
Yeah, but if they were, yeah. Anyway,
some very artful pictures.
We could flash one up, but then everyone would be so stunned.
If you come to Norway, I'll take you troll hunting.
I will share my screen if you want to flash one for a tease, but I mean, you got to come through with the offer. Nobody likes a tease.
True. There's a lot of them.
I don't mind a tease.
Yeah, mind a tease. All right. Let's
What? You want to see my boobies?
Yeah, all right.
A blind you.
I've seen worse, Sid.
I would have blinded you.
Blinded by the light.
I was thinking the
can't be
same
blinded.
thing, Luna.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Lucky I'm tough. All right.
Sorry, Sid.
Do you say Saturday to everybody?
I thought you were wearing your boobs, Sid.
All right. Hold on to your.
That's for chocolate milk.
Here you go. Oh, wrong way. What am I doing? What am I doing?
I'm still like The food that you brought to the table last Friday, Luna, I'm still working on that. I'm still processing those leftovers.
Oh, thanks. I like to hear stuff like that. That's my job, is to
I
get
mean,
you.
especially, I mean, we can. I mean, if you guys are game, we can get away from '80s and talk about science reality, perhaps. I don't know if anybody's willing to stick around. I mean, if Luna, what do you have going on today? Because
Yeah, I still got to finish stuff. I can be a little bit longer. We can just do one picture because about
I
half
forget.
an hour maybe.
No, because I was gonna say the video of the Red Mercury last week. I thought about that and how the artifacts that the Germans were looking for prior to the First World War, and how that canister was dated 1914, and the timeline it syncs up to, but it has those two rampant lions, and I've been thinking about that all week. The symbol in the middle, I can't quite make out what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, but Roxy, get down. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay. I can't get it any bigger. I don't think.
Hi, Roxy.
There, that's better. Okay.
Come here, Roxy.
These are, I've come across the Mayan tablets. Here's one of them here. Now, if you take a close look, they are not human.
Well, clearly, there's the UFO that indicates they're from somewhere else. Right in the center of his skull, as his third eye is a spaceship.
And if you look at the two at the top, they've got eagle head helmets on. And we've seen that before.
Yes.
And this is the Mayan thing.
I'm still very uneducated, and I'm actually learning. I'm looking into stuff right now, but those guys with the helmets on, that connected to the serpent, which would indicate it's an old civilization.
And then down the bottom, the two guys holding the staff. So we all know whoever holds the staff is the leader, right? You'll see a lot of that in the others. Like there's a heaps of them. That's why I'm just going to give you a taste today.
You know what I get from that is whatever all that stuff is above that guy's head, it's a representation of what's in his head. And look at his eyes. He's high as a kite.
Hey.
I mean, in the middle of that, it kind of looks like a pathway or stairs or a trail. It's indicating that you go somewhere.
Oh, that's the.
It's a mushroom cap.
That's the step pyramids in the middle. If you have a look on the side, there's two snakes on each side. There's that little swirly thing, like what's coming out of their mouth, which means language or saying something. I know they're lizards.
The parcel tongue is the snake language.
Yeah, they're lizards. There's a foot. There's feet. Sorry.
Looks like a big mushroom on his forehead.
No, that's an eagle head fin. Then you got the other aliens, and they look like the grey aliens. Check them out. Because when I saw these and I saw the writings on the old petroglyph things of all the different aliens, I recognised them. It's like, oh, that's that one. This is that one. And if you go look at them,
those two dudes that are on the right and the left side, when I first saw that in my juvenile mind, I went back to Beetlejuice. That little scene where the little short dude's dressed in the suit. That's what he reminded me of.
And on the cheeks, there's an eagle on one side and a panther on the other. And on the chin is a dead alien laying down, obviously for sacrifice. That's a sacrifice position, which, man, we're going to get right into it when I get back. I'll show you another one. You want another one?
Where is that?
And look, sacrifice. That's a human he's sacrificing, by the way. That's the sheep. And there's the little grey dudes. And there's language around the side. And it's got jewels on it. Not jewels as in jewels, but, you know, gems.
It's okay. Every family has one.
Ah.
Always a delayed
Yeah.
reaction with that
Mm.
one.
That one's
That's
interesting.
the one that had me like, wait, let me look at that. That and that means this, and this means that, and that means this, and this is Masonic, and
We know what it is in the middle. We know what that is. Yeah, so that was interesting. Whether these are real. Oh, look, there's a V. Look, V on the saucer. 3 Vs.
Freya.
coincidentally, there have been 3 Vs. There's the first one, the miniseries, the miniseries, the series, and then ABC picked it up. There have been 3 Vs.
I think I see Lou Elizondo up in that Tic Tac.
The alien on the left, he's one of the ones in the pictographs, and he also looks like the alien from the movie. And the other guy's a grey. He's smoking a pipe. Check it out.
Ha. Damn, he's ugly.
Looks like a there's a reptilian.
Yeah. And there's a female alien in the top left-hand corner. And the top right-hand corner, see? Female aliens. There's another species.
She's very voluptuous.
Yeah, in the top right-hand corner, different species. Again, so there's 3 different species in this picture.
Yeah,
Can you
I'm
see them?
looking up at my computer and not down at my cell phone. I have
What
a
are-
bigger screen on the computer.
What is that?
What?
Like, what
It's
is that?
what you
Something
would
that somebody
call,
found? Like,
a Inca or
Yeah,
Peruvian
they're tablets.
hieroglyph.
They're Mayan tablets they found. They found all these different tablets.
what
with all
was
these-
the purpose of the? Why did they
Well,
make the tablet?
They
Did they just hang it on a wall or something? Like,
They'll probably it's to tell a story, information.
Why do you have pictures on the wall?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Why do you draw pictures?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know why people put pictures on the wall. But I do the same thing. I have tons of pictures on my walls, but I don't know why I do it.
Uh-huh. So I'm going to check these out more while I'm away because there's symbols here that we recognise underneath the frame there. That
So where are these pieces located? Are these just like random photographs, or are these like pieces that are
No,
in a
this was-
museum, or like?
No, this was somewhere. You know how the locals have more stuff than anybody else. It's one of those things. They're
Yeah,
obviously-
this is like Maya, Inca, like
Yeah.
Peruvian.
Yeah, I'm
something.
seeing that because I'm seeing a lot of that serpent snake symbolism.
I had to skip that one. It was a bit rude, and it's an alien and a human together.
Is that how you make smarter people?
Ah, this one looks like. This
Depends
one
how
looks like-
gullible you are.
This one's
Oh, I
human
heard the
against aliens.
funniest thing the other day. You guys won't pull. Well, you probably will.
So,
There is this person I got to know, and we got into a little bit of discussion yesterday. It's an American girl. She's been trying to travel the world and sell to different governments how she knows the world is gonna end soon, and she has the paperwork for the solution.
Ooh.
And so I said, just as a joke yesterday, I said, "Oh, so you mean like, so if we know you, we're okay?" It looked me straight in the face and said, "Yes." I laughed my ass off.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
really,
almost
really,
sounds
really
like
good.
Corey Good. Have a spaceship in your garden and
Oh yeah.
I stopped the whole that cycle of crap. The blue chickens. It's comical.
yeah, the Dank Alliance.
Blue
Yeah.
chickens. Hey, I keep telling you, they don't come from outer space. They come from under the ground.
Yeah.
And this is
No, it's been quiet
I mean,
for quite some
it
time,
just
Jules.
what I mean, in the grand scheme of thing, it is what it is. I can't control their actions or anything, but the way that the CIA, it's all tied in with that, and it makes it look like a bread and circus. It's not what they're presenting out there is nowhere near the truth as what we're searching
But
for,
that's
and that's when they
only
do
for
this
you in
disclosure.
America.
When they do this disclosure, it's there's more out there. It's because they want to control it. They don't want us to know that there's other stuff out there. I
Do
mean,
you really think
it's
if
Brazil,
the aliens
Norway.
came here that they would go to America?
And Ben's been diligently uploading and posting and still streaming, and I miss his shows with Captain.
If I came from another planet here for the first time, had a little bit of intel, I certainly wouldn't go to any of those people who shoot first.
No,
I'd probably go to Greenland. That would be a good spot.
Yep. Luna, are you done, or are we still? You still sharing?
oh, you can yeah, I don't mind. I want to show the whole lot because I'll have no choice.
It's going to be coming up on your show. It's what you want to do. I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, I'd like to have you all there. And comment.
Coincidentally, a snake in the center.
Yeah, eh? Sorry for chewing, crunching away there.
No, I mean, I probably should be
No
winding
problem.
this down. We've been on here for a hot minute.
Yeah, so I'll leave you with that. I'll show you the rest later. There's tons of them.
I see that there's a woman chief there in the background being
Yep.
courted.
Yep. Yeah, they got stories on them. Like when you look at them and you look around, it tells a story, and that's what I want to do on my show. We'll look at each one and look at the story that's being told.
Yeah.
Because
I see hounds.
yeah, it's like pictures in pictures. You know, you really got to check it out and have a good look. When I really actually looked into it, I was just blown away. I'm like, oh wow.
Bucciatino. Shino, Shunu, Shuna, Shani.
Hey, Buzz is in the green room.
Yeah.
Couple of poems.
Yep. All right then, folks. I'll stop sharing this.
Sorry, Buzz. I got busy in conversation. I didn't even realize. My bad. I'm a horrible hostess.
No, you're not.
Always a pleasure to have you.
But I will say this: it is your fault. All the technical issues, you had to go and mention the Gremlins, didn't you?
Oh,
Yep, you mentioned them. It happened.
damn. Oh, that was so
But you
scary
know,
the first time I watched that.
here's the part of Gremlins, and this is just whatever. I remember when that movie came out, I saw it in the theater. I remember at the beginning of the movie that this man had mentioned he supposedly he was the World War II fighter and he had a gremlin that was hanging off of his plane. And even way back then, I knew that that was truth. That was a real thing. And then as the years ticked on by, Spielberg, science fiction, Steven Spielberg, it made, and now it keeps, more information keeps coming. So
It's the
thank you,
little people.
thank you for the gremlin. Now I've got more things to ponder.
It's the little people.
Oh, I should let me go grab something because I have to show you something that's really cool. Hang on.
You know what? If I watch the Gremlin movie again now, I probably start crying.
Where did they come from in the first place? I can't remember. The Chinese man shop, was it, in the box?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He got kidnapped or stolen or
Man, they'll eat anything, won't they?
managed. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
g'day,
but
Buzz. Good to see you.
Sorry?
I said, g'day, good to see you.
Oh, good to see you too, Luna. Holly,
Yeah.
Sid, everyone.
Yeah,
in the
greetings,
chat.
Buzz.
I have a couple of
I
poos.
show you some of my childhood.
Oh,
Cool.
ET trading cards.
fun home. E.T. fun
Oh.
home.
The trading
Oh,
cards.
Elliot.
And I got this because I
Elliot.
think that there's some gremlins in here. There it is. I got some gremlin.
E.T. fun home. Home fun. Elliot.
The stickers that us 80s kids loved. And the gremlin trading cards.
My favorite was the intelligent one. In
What?
Gremlins 2.
This is so
The one with the
old,
glasses.
so ancient. The official
Hey, you guys.
Goonies magazine before the movie came out that had all the pirate, all the all the stuff in
Oh, the
here.
Goonies. Ah.
When they did the 25th anniversary remake on DVD, this was the original that they copied it from.
Nice.
Now I want to play treasure hunting game.
Oh, and of course I have like cool cards like Beavis and Butthead.
Now I guess we can call them the Gonnies.
Goonies. Well, they're dead, huh?
Oh, I get it. But that's, I don't know why I felt compelled to like get up and share that with you guys.
It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
It's just
I
just
wish
one
I
of
had
those-
my old stuff like that. I got rid of everything.
And
I
this
have
is
only
actually
something.
all I have of like things like that. Of all the things, toys and everything, the only thing that I managed to hold on to were the cards.
It's strange because we keep hold of things like that so that we reminisce. And I actually wrote a whole brand new song tonight that reminiscing is part and parcel of it.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to have you on, Buzz. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for
Reminisce
having
us,
me.
Buzz. Reminisce us.
Parcel loving.
I have a couple of poems if you fancy them.
Always.
I've got two. The first one is kind of a bit personal because it's about me. And number two is called Choose Wisely, and it's a bit controversial, but not too controversial.
Awesome.
Righty-ho. The first one then, found my reason. Cancer twice, then heart attacks showed me the face of death. And each time I kept fighting, saying until my last breath. Half my life spent battling, whilst half my family I lost. Heartbroken, battered and breaking, for my rocks were worth more than the cost. And just when my battle was ending, my mother, my nurse and true friend, was also taken from me. So now I am alone again. And yet where I sit now, I see it all so clear. I had to fight the illness because I would not face my fear. I had to lose so many so I'd find my inner strength and learn that life is fragile. No one really knows the length. And yet I am still standing. I survived through every season. I questioned why I lived, looked inside and found my reason. I am only here today because of the love from them all. And I will honour that love with my poems. For them, I answer the call.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, thanks, Buzz. Lovely as
What,
always.
what a warrior soul. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. And the second one called Choose Wisely. I actually did this yesterday. If you give up, you choose to die. That has me questioning, wondering why. Life can be hard. Times can get bad. We hurt so deep and get so sad. It seems our wills they want to break, and love they want us to forsake. They know that choices are the key, so they influence society. From the dawn and through the night, we are run ragged, too tired to fight, ignored and abused until we are ill. It's hard to choose wisely whilst you're writing your will. And what of the safety of those left behind? We're told it's on you, the fate of mankind. That is so much pressure, I see why you cry. But that makes me sigh, for you know it's a lie. The best we can do is choose to push on. Don't let them brainwash you and make you think wrong. Live, laugh and love, don't let them take life's fun. Like the song, carry on, please, my wayward son.
Another one brilliantly beautiful and kind of hits close to me with that last part.
I actually wrote son differently because it's S-U-N rather than S-O-N to include anyone that's a light in your life.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was the day my uncle passed away earlier this year. Totally unexpected. I mean, he had been sick with so-called heart things, and the medicine that he was on trashed his kidneys. So it came kind of unexpected. I remember driving to his service. I just put it out there, universe. I found this radio station. I wanted to hear this one particular song. I just put it out there. And I remember the mile marker was 2:17. I put it out there, floating in the universe. Went to his service, caught up with my estranged brother for a little bit. Came back home, that same mile marker of the song that I requested, Carry On, Wayward Son, played on the radio.
Nice.
That's when it was one of those moments when you connect with your higher self in times like that, where you are alert of those symbols and signs, and when it happens, you know you're doing something right, good. It's a connection with something, with a higher being, a higher source. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's because you mentioned that the song that I just wrote. I wasn't sure quite how to sing it, so I just attempted it. But it's along the same lines. The song is actually called "Beside You on the Path." If I chuck it to Luna in Discord, and she could share screen, she might be able to play it. But I wanted people's opinion before I actually chuck it up on Rumble. Could you do that? Luna there?
Can't you just
Yeah, I'll
send it
try.
straight
I
to
don't know
me?
if I could share screen on Discord, but do it. I'll see. I'm in Discord. And sorry I didn't get your message, Sid. I only just got it then.
Oh, no, it says I can't. Damn it.
You can't.
No, it says it's too big to actually shift over on Discord.
Oh.
Huh.
No, I just copy the link.
Yeah, but it's not on a website. It's in my computer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, you can't do that.
Can't you share a screen? Can you share a screen? You just got to press present.
Is it on your phone?
Can you drop the link in here and I can share this?
No. He can start share screen and then he can play the video. That's what you can do.
Shall I hit the share screen thing? I don't know how to do that because I've never done that before.
When you hit the share screen, click share all screen. Just make sure you don't have any secret in the background. And then click share audio.
Just close everything first.
Yeah. Yeah, close everything.
Wait, Luna might be getting her title back.
Jules is a StreamYard Pro, so she'll go back.
Yeah, I'm looking for a notification to add to stream.
You'll see first that he's presenting.
Do I need to mute when I play this or what?
No.
No, you should be good. Oh, I see the lighter. I remember that was common back in the day, going to a concert, putting the lighter up. I don't think I've been to a big arena show lately. Do they even still do that?
They started a little bit again this year here.
I mean, and it's weird. Now that I think about it, it's like when I was younger, I would go to arena shows, and now that I'm older, it's like I like more small, kind of quaint shows. Like I like hanging with people.
Peace and quiet.
Can you see that?
Yep, I got it. You should. All you have to do is press play.
Yeah.
You don't even know where to begin. You feel a great hope reaching down to your soul. Tears of sorrow feels like you're drowning. So release every tender kiss, every hug, every joke, every laugh. For an
Stand by me.
It's a special key to knowing they're beside you on the path. Hold your head up for those that have gone. celebrating lives with a smile and song. They wouldn't want you crying too long. Oh, while in sorrow they take its wrong. So reminisce every tender kiss, every hug, every joke, every laugh. For in memory there's the special key to know there beside you on the path. The love you shared is still connecting. You can feel them, just not physically. You know in your heart they are still taking part, and we want you to be truly happy. So reminisce every tender kiss, every hug, every joke, every laugh. For in memory is the special key to knowing there beside you on the path. So reminisce every tender kiss, every hug, every joke, every laugh. For in memory is the special key to knowing there beside you on the path.
That was utterly awesome and beautiful.
Do you think I should post it?
I do.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
I do. That is a job well done. I
mellow
felt,
and
I
beautiful.
literally was. I could feel the emotion, and I could hear it in your voice and the way that it all flowed. And then I found a beat, and that beat just was consistent and carried me through. I can't. Yes, post it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was cool. I like.
Any other opinions other than Jules?
Leslie,
posting?
our homegirls got it. Praise and whoa.
Yeah, Leslie says praise the vocals.
The funny thing is, I've got a friend, he does music,
Beautiful.
and he absolutely destroys me every time because I say to him, you know, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and he says, put on some headphones. I've never worn headphones.
You can't hear yourself.
I can't hear myself singing. I'm just singing straight up, original, to the mic as it is, hit the record button, that's it.
I've been doing a spiritual project, and a lot of it is involving a couple of different soundtracks and really getting into the music and the spiritual aspect of it. And I felt that in your song, Buzz. It's definitely up there as far as emotion and feeling for me.
Well, thank you. I'm chucking it up right now. Then.
And Leslie is high praise, and our brother Polly is friggin' awesome.
And you're making me want to sing, but I'm frantically.
Yeah, and one of the things in this project I'm working on is how you don't, in this land, you don't talk, you sing to speak, to raise your vibration.
Yeah.
Also, I would just want to point out that to sing something like that, like without any music or anything behind it, is like extremely brave.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty raw because, I mean, it's just you, right?
Yeah.
That's it. It's just you. And I admire that bravery for sure.
Yes,
Because I,
you
I
have.
there's I'm a musician. And I would never do anything a cappella ever. There's just no way I would do that. I don't have the confidence in my voice for one, and for two, as I was doing it, I would always feel like there was something missing, like some kind of like music to carry my voice. Like
Oh, come on, Polly. We can sing about Jesus.
I still need music. That's what I'm saying. Like for me to be able to
Jesus is
sing.
the answer.
Oh, you
I
made me
mean,
want to sing. I can't
it's
remember.
almost like
Above
yeah.
him, there's no other. Jesus is the way.
I got a little one. I don't know if I can remember it though. I sang this in public. It was the biggest night I actually sang in public. Here we go. I've travelled many hours, and it's never quite the same. From a desert full of dry sand to a forest full of rain. I stood in sorrow silence as the earth was ripped away. A tear fell from my eye, and I heard a voice say, "Who gonna sing? Who gonna sing? Who gonna sing for the mother?" I heard the river crying as the color drained away, and there were people shouting. You could hear them say, "Everywhere the mother, her presence you can feel." But the men's places are quiet, and the women's places still. And I said, "Who's gonna sing? Who's gonna sing? Who gonna sing for the mother?" That's all I can remember.
Oh, Luna, you got a beautiful voice.
Ah, that was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
well,
have,
they
Luna.
Yeah, I can't carry a tune in a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, I don't know why you're afraid to sing, Luna. I don't. With a voice like that, it's like, hey, keep banging your head on the wall. Go on.
Oh yeah, I got some good songs. I had a friend. He said to me, "I've never heard someone sing sad songs so beautiful," and I'm like, "I sing sad songs." I didn't realize it did, but yeah.
Sing a sad song and make it happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One more, but I haven't sang them for that long. You've inspired me now, Buzz, and everybody to keep on singing.
Groovy.
And what you see is not quite right, and what you hear contains no light, and you just want to run and hide in tears.
Now think about that on a stadium.
Yeah.
Where's my lighter?
Where's my lighter?
Go ahead.
I can actually do it in real time.
Yeah, I like that. I got a funny one. It's kind of funny. I hope I can remember it. It's a fast one. And where it come from, when I first moved where I was, I could see all the mountain range from my kitchen window and backyard.
Oh.
So beautiful. It was beautiful. And then everybody came and started building. And I looked out my kitchen window one day and went, "The cocky flew that way and the traffic's getting loud and I can't hear my spirit and my spirit's crying out." Oh, shit, I forgot it. I was trying to think. Cocky flew that way and... see, this is the thing. I haven't seen them for that long. I forgot. Well, it talks about the cocky flying towards the mountains, and I can't hear anything anymore because the traffic's so loud. And it talks about the lizard sitting on the rock and how you could hear the ancestors on a perfect day, and that don't happen anymore because it's too noisy. It's kind of a song like that. It was a real quick one. Lizard sits on the rock in the sun. Oh yeah, I'm sorry I can't remember it, and I wrote them all down, but I've packed them all away, and I'm going to resurrect them all. Thank you, Buzz. Thank you, everybody. And I might even, yeah. So what are we? We're on.
Sorry, Sid. I don't know what happened, but welcome
No,
back.
it was me. It was me. I clicked
you-
the wrong button.
Sid did it.
Yeah.
Luna,
At
you
least
made
I'll
Sid
admit
cry
it.
with your
Yeah.
voice. He had to go get a napkin to wipe his tears of joy.
Oh.
Yeah, all this music makes
You
me
got our Viking emotional.
teary-eyed.
Emotional.
But
Oh,
well,
yeah,
it
I
is getting
forgot.
late here. I could sit
Yeah.
and yarn with you guys for hours because it's always a pleasure catching up with everybody. And there were a few people in chat. Ron popped in tonight. Connie, Joe, Leslie, my homegirls here.
Yay.
KBS forever.
Yeah. And if there's anybody, and Buzz, thank you for joining us. And if I am not seeing anybody in chat, I apologize, but hello from the past because it'll be your future. So, and with that said, it's the present for everybody. And thank you all for joining me. Much love to you, Buzz, Sid, Polly, Luna, and everybody in chat. Thanks for joining me
Thank you, Jules.
just to unwind and spend some time. It's always good to be with family. So love you guys. Until next time, Yalu.
Yalu.
Stay bright.
Love you all. Stay groovy.